Hello, I'm Bernard Hickey from interest.co.nz, and today we've got James Woodward here, who's the head of transactional banking at Kiwibank. James, tell us about what Kiwibank can do with its business customers to try and get people to pay their bills on time or maybe even a bit early.
Yep. So good morning, Bernard, first of all. So what Kiwibank is doing is we've recognised that the way that people actually pay their bills these days is actually changing, and the way that businesses want to receive their payments is also changing. We do recognise that for businesses of all shapes and sizes, payment is kind of the lifeblood of the business. So it opens a really strong cash flow, actually opens up doors, it strengthens supplier relationships, and it means you can invest in your business going forward. So we really want to make payment easy for our business customers. So what we're doing in that regard is we've focused on building some payment products that meet the needs of the modern business. So with our Fetch range of products, which we talked about in our last interview, we're looking at how we allow businesses to accept payments online easily. We're looking at ways that they can use email to send invoices and to have a nice little link to enable credit card or scheme debit based payments.
Tell us about how people are changing the way that they pay their bills. Because previously you'd get in the bill in that mail, you'd set it up next to your computer and go through with your checkbook. Doesn't work like that now. How is that changing the way people change their bill payments?
Yep. Yeah, so we've seen some really interesting behaviour. So we still see that the main payment behaviour for individual customers is they go to their mailbox, they get their bills on a regular basis, and they stack them beside their computer or beside their checkbook, and come payday, which in the majority of situations is on a fortnightly basis, they sit down and actually write out their cheques, or they make their internet banking bill payments. Now we're seeing email obviously coming into the invoicing space. And the behaviour that we're seeing there is that people are tending to set those emails aside as well until that fortnightly basis, and then they'll actually go about kind of reinventing their paper-based process. They'll often print off their email, they'll add it to their pile, and then they'll go through the entire process. What's really interesting is that we're starting to see payment behaviours kind of change, and the times of the day that payments are made changing. So the mobile technologies, the app-based banking applications mean that people are logging on and doing their banking a bit more regularly, but they're also concentrating around the start of the day. So sort of between 8 o'clock and 9 a.m, there's a real influx of activity when people are sort of jumping on before they start their day at work. And we're also seeing people sitting down at 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock at night, when they're sort of sitting in front of the television, but they might be doing a bit of online shopping, and they might be doing their banking then. So really interesting different windows. I think the key point that we always talk to our business customers about is that how invoicing regularly is really important. So if you can get first in with getting your invoice out there, it's the perception of that's the invoice I need to pay first.
So tell us a bit more about Fetch though, and how that works to make it easier for people to pay their bills and for businesses to get paid faster and more regularly and without having to go back and nag people.
Yeah. So Fetch offers a range of tools that enable your customers to actually pay you on an effective basis. So there's quite a lot of our Fetch tools are focused on online payment. We also have a smartphone based application, which is like a little EFTPOS terminal, but you take down the credit card information. And the thinking is there that the business owner can collect payment on a more immediate basis. So the situation may be that you're a coffee shop owner, you're providing catering services, you're taking an order over the phone, and you want to collect that payment up front. Collecting that payment up front has real benefits in the aspect that there's no credit risk there at all, but also from a cash flow point of view, suddenly you've got available funds to actually go out and pay for the goods and services that you need to fulfil that order.
So when people use Fetch, has that actually improved their payment times and their their working capital, their cash flow?
Yep. Yeah, so we're definitely seeing improvements in cash flow. It is very much about collecting payments much more quicker. And the benefits of that. So we're seeing the need for bank overdraft sort of reducing down for these customers, but we're also seeing the payment administration time actually reducing. And one of the figures that we talk about with our customers is we've seen some research from the UK that says small businesses actually spend 130 days every year administering their payments inward. Which is really, really interesting. And of
doesn't
course,
sound like a lot of fun.
No fun, but also it's not allowing you to actually focus on growing your business.
And looking at the future, how do you see payments changing for small businesses? You've done Fetch. What do you think's out there for people to look for? What are the trends?
Yeah, so I think the trends are very much about getting online. So we're definitely seeing more and more customers wanting to go online and sell their products and services online. So that's very much about getting into the homes and the workplaces of their customer bases so that they can actually interact with those customers on their terms. And payments is a really important part of that. So some of the discussions that we have with our customers is that actually having the ability to make those payments when online really enables the customer to actually complete the transaction, and it's that sort of immediacy that the customers seem to like, rather than sort of knowing that they're placing an order and that there's a payment process that continues down the way. Online is becoming that sort of killer trend in terms of the fact that people are just constantly on their various devices. And an interesting little stat is with Kiwibank's own sort of online banking, we are quickly seeing smartphones and tablets actually catching up to the amount of online sort of sessions that are occurring for online banking.
Excellent. James Woodward, who's the head of transactional banking at Kiwibank, there talking about how to get your bills paid on time on Interest.co's small business channel. Thank you very much. I'm Bernard Hickey for Interest.co.nz. Thanks, James.
Cheers.